$100 million for construction.
Before it gets better?
Well, I think all of us, local governments, hope it doesn't get worse, but reality is setting in as quickly as possible because the revenue is not coming into local governments. Taxpayers don't have enough money to citizens to spend more. And so what is happening is that there's a number of issues dealing with wages, dealing with pensions and health care. The cost is rising of all local governments. And you'll see a lot of local governments trying to reorganize or file bankruptcy because their citizens can't pour any more money into the system.
Can states and cities continue to look to Washington, which has its own fiscal challenge?
No, I don't think so. I think, but you can look to Washington in different ways. You don't look to Washington strictly say just a lot of money. Well, we go to Washington and say, tell me all the laws you passed, all the rules and regulations has an impact upon the cost of our government. Do we need those? Are they health? Are they safety, environment? What is it? What do you need, what you don't need? And we have to cut those out. At the same time, I'll give you an example. If the CTA gets a grant of $100 million for construction of a new facility,
CTA being?
Chicago Transit Authority, public transportation, the federal government takes 10% out. Local government, the state takes 5% maybe out. That's 15 cents on every dollar. That's a lot of money to just do administrative over the project. We have to rethink that. Maybe government should only take, federal government 3%. We should file everything through an outside auditor to file all accountability and transparency in the construction project of anything you do in the city. Then we have to look at the tax code and say, how can the tax code affect infrastructure and rebuild our cities since the government, federal government, doesn't have money? I'm thinking of a private investment fund where the private investors have huge amount of cash. Now, how do they invest in a public works project, such as rebuilding all the water and sewer projects, public transportation, rebuilding your schools, anything to do with the environment that you want to rebuild and make a city better? And we don't have the money to do it. We learned from China. They have a vision of 25, 50 years. And so we have the private investors come in and say, what do you need, a tax credit? No local, county, state, or federal tax on the project. And if you make any money, no tax on that, because we're using someone else's money. And the taxpayers don't have the money. We have a huge national deficit. And I think we have to realize that they have to live within their means.
Let's go global. One of your signature events is the Richard M. Daley Global Mayors Conference. You're a champion of international commerce and relations. The Chinese president, the only place he's going on this visit to the United States outside of Washington is Chicago. But many Democrats are complaining. They say globalization is hurting American workers. China has unfair advantages. It's manipulating its currency.
Well, I think, first of all, a lot of people are afraid of globalization, but it's going to be here. I don't care what we do. But the sad thing about our country, the two strongest allies that we have in the world is Colombia. Colombia has been with us in all the issues that we can't get a free trade agreement in the Republic of Korea. Now think of that. The strongest allies close to us, with the exception of England and a few others, are those two countries. And we can't get a free trade agreement, which I'm for. Before the last century, we were the only one. They become a major player, and we have to realize that. We can't shut our doors. We can't say you can't come here. We will differ with them on issues, but I think we can work with them to the betterment of the United States of America and China. We used to blame Japanese for taking jobs. Then we used to blame Mexico for taking jobs. Now we're blaming the Chinese. We should stop blaming people, and we should have enough confidence in America to compete in a global economy.
When we come back, Daley's take on Chicago's fiscal problems.
But in the surrounding communities, they're great corporate citizens. They employ people. They pay their taxes. Great museums and great universities and hospitals. And then from there, all the corporations, not only in the city, but in the surrounding communities. They're great corporate citizens. They employ people. They pay their taxes. They're very charitable. They become part and parcel of that I will spirit of Chicago. So I always formed a great relationship. Even though they had different political viewpoints, even though I endorsed candidates for local or state or county, fine, but in the end result, they're part of this city. And I think America has to say, business community is an asset. That doesn't mean you have difference with them, But if we don't make them an asset, in the global competition, America will suffer. Our businesses won't be able to compete worldwide as much as we thought they will.
Daley's view of his brother's job as White House Chief of Staff after the break.
When the path forward is unclear, do you change your wealth plan or stay the course? Find clarity in specialized expertise and proven outcomes in every economic climate. For now and whatever's next, Northern Trust Wealth Management.
President Obama, you've known him over a decade and a half. You watched closely his first 2 years in office. What is it that you think your brother Bill will bring to the president, to the White House, in his new position as Chief of Staff?
Well, I think Bill has a unique experience dealing with both national government and local governments and the business community. And I've been always in the forefront of being positive about the business community of America. I don't care what they say in Chicago. What he'll bring is an experience that business leaders want President Obama to succeed as President of the United States. I am convinced of that. I think all of America want him to succeed. Any president, because it's the office. That is the person that leads this country, regardless of the political differences. In the long run, we want President Obama to succeed. And I think my brother Bill brings that business, the political and government sense to his administration. But he's a great leader, and he's done wonderful things in 2 years. But at the same time, like anything else, in selecting Bill, I think he selected a person that was very disciplined and keep his focus on jobs and the economy and realize that the world is competing against us, and we have to compete with the world.
Gun violence. You and other big city mayors, including New York's Michael Bloomberg, have tried to curb gun violence without a lot of success. You had the Supreme Court slap down city law. Were you disappointed, candidly, that President Obama hasn't taken on this issue directly after the Tucson tragedy?
Well, I think people all over this country, the most divisive issue I've ever seen in America is the gun issue. Some way we believe that America was founded strictly by a gun and not by the Declaration of Independence. Not about, we needed to create an independence, but after that, we're founded by laws. We went, if you look at the history, the Wild West. We didn't have a sheriff, so people took the violence on the street. And now today, some way we really believe that everybody in America has a right to a gun. Now, when you think about guns in someone's home, and you have many issues confronting people in their homes, and you'll see that one incident takes place and someone uses a gun by accident or intentionally, and someone's lost a life, a child, a parent, or a loved one. Then you see it on the street, what takes place. And to me, that doesn't mean you say common sense gun laws. And why is it that even in Arizona that they still believe they have a right to carry a gun? Now, I don't care how many guards you have. I don't care where you are. Anyone can come up to you and have a discussion with you and very emotional. The difference is, if he or she has a gun, you better be frightened. And there's where the problem is. We just have too many guns.
But are you disappointed the president hasn't tackled the issue?
Well, not him, but I think all of America is hiding behind the issue. The rest of the world looks at us and says to us, well, why? You're a civilized society. You're a world power. Why are you killing your own? And that's the question to be asked. Why are we killing our own? And I think it's not just President Obama. It's all political leaders. It's religious. It's government people. Why is it that the strongest lobbying in the world is the gun manufacturers? Not the National Rifle Association. People believe that. But it's the gun manufacturers.
And in this section, one other question. You've said you're officially neutral in the race to replace you, to succeed you. But a lot of Chicago pundits think that you really would like to see Rahm Emanuel.
No, I don't think anyone can anoint anyone. I think those days are over. Because what the Chicago people want is they want to be able to judge people. And they want to see them, how passionate they are for this city. And do they understand the issues The idea that someone come over and anoint, you are my person, people don't like that. I mean, they respect me, they know I love this city, but I have no right to say that that person will be the mayor. And that's why I've always viewed that way in regards to the mayor's position.
Up next, Daley's legacy and future plans.
Inextricably linked. The Daily, more than half a century, For more than half a century, two of the great American families in this country have been inextricably linked, the Daleys and the Kennedys. 50 years ago this week, John F. Kennedy was inaugurated as president. This week, his brother-in-law, Sergeant Shriver, passed away. Speak for just a moment about the Kennedy family and what it's meant.
Well, I think today I talked about my father because in 1959-60 he was president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in regards to President Kennedy's election. And of course in 1956 my father thought that maybe John F. Kennedy be running for president or vice president. And that did not take place. And at that time he spoke to the Cook County Democratic Party. And the state Democratic Party started his career in the 1960s. And to see that campaign going to LA with my parents and the belief that he was like Franklin Delano Roosevelt all over again. My dad felt that great relationship that he had with John F. Kennedy and the Kennedy family. And then in turn, to see him at the convention talking to Eleanor Roosevelt, because Eleanor Roosevelt was with my dad's good friend Stevenson, who many people thought he should be the candidate. And my father, of course, worked for Stevenson, admired Stevenson. I just loved Stevenson. They were, really in his whole career and government career, and had to make the decision on behalf of for John F. Kennedy. And going through that whole campaign, and I entered college, and at the inauguration I didn't go because at Providence College I had to take a test. And my parents knew that education is more important than the inauguration, and you had to stay there.
So you stayed at school?
Yes, and all my other brothers were the first visitors into the White House. Of course, I'm MIA, missing there. And later on, my father did bring me to the White House to meet John F. Kennedy and to see their great contribution. And Sergeant Shriver was a president of the Chicago Board of Education in the 50s. And Eunice lived there, and the great contributions of the Kennedy family to Chicago and the great passion they had of public service and what they've all accomplished, and Bobby and Teddy and the rest of them. We have Chris Kennedy out there as a business leader, but now he's chairman of the University of Illinois Board of Trustees, which is really important for us in Illinois in regards to education and future economic development. So a great contribution. And so my father was a Kennedy man. And then, of course, Bobby Kennedy running for president. I remember parents telling me that he came to Chicago before he went to California. And my father said, if you win California, we're going to endorse you out of Chicago because we believe you're the right person at the time. He went to California and won the election. And in his room, he called my parents and talked to my mother and talked to my dad. And after he went down, and the end of his speech, he said, on to Chicago. Walked off, and unfortunately was killed. And he changed the whole course of democratic politics, and of course, changed the whole course of what took place in America.
So between you and your father, you've run the city of Chicago for, 43 of the last 55 years. Do you think, Mr. Mayor, there should be term limits?
Definitely no.
The mayor of the great city of Chicago,
Thank
Richard
you.
Daley. Thank you
Judy.
very much for talking with us.
Thank you.
That's our conversation with Chicago Mayor Richard M. Daley. I'm Judy Woodruff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. For the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know.
WIIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He would tell him nervous, told him shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show on a thirsty Thursday. Yep, y'all ain't gonna get me hollering. Y'all will not get me all worked up today. I'm gonna stay low key. I'm gonna stay super chill. Yeah, we got. You know what? I just realized we got some guests coming today. I think I need to text Ruthie and be like, "Is this true? Do we have guests today?" I think we have the 100 Black Men because they have their big scholarship event coming up. So they will be with us a little bit later on today. So 8 o'clock, we got 100 Black Men. I don't think we could fit 100 Black Men up in this joint. So I hope they don't bring all 100. I wonder, is that like a figurative number? Or is it like you got to wait for somebody to fall off or something so you could join? Because is it like, I'm number 97, 98, 99. Dang, it's 100. And then you got to wait till, well, I don't know. Anyway, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, on this Thursday. Is it 30 days in September? 30 days? So it's the last. Tomorrow's the 30th? 31st? September? There's no September 31st. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. No. There is 30 days in September. Right? So 30 days in September. Oh, I guess I could have just looked at the calendar that's on my screen. 30 days in September. Do you remember? September? Remember that song? Yeah, it's the Maze Jackson Show.
Why so quiet? You don't seem like I don't got no bed or nothing underneath them. But what you could do is put underneath that, cause you could put that Coolio underneath that. Cause first of all, I don't know, when it's a musician, do you have a moment of silence or do you play their music? Let's do this. Let's play their music first of all. Play Coolio. What you got? Fantastic Voyage. What you got? Gangsta's Paradise. Okay. Which one was Gangsta's Paradise? Go ahead. It is. I don't know if y'all know yesterday. Yeah, you can break it down just a little bit. I don't know if y'all realized yesterday, but Coolio, rapper, with the, he had the crazy braids. Fantastic Voyage. Come along and ride on a fantastic voyage. But I think this might have been his biggest one. Fantastic Voyage was big. They still play Fantastic Voyage though a lot at clubs, and it's like when you go to resorts, it always comes on. Gangsta's Paradise. I never watched the movie. Now I'm gonna have to go watch the movie. Remember, you saw the movie, right? I never saw it, but Michelle Pfeiffer, when she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and they did the video, and she wouldn't appear with him in the video.
Got 1 billion views.
Huh?
His Gangsta Paradise has 1 billion views. That's the first time I've ever seen any video with 1 billion.
Really?
Got 1 billion. That is.
This is
sick.
one of them songs that, it's like one of them songs that just goes in the background. Right? Like that just, I feel like this is a funeral song for all the hoods. This is like, and I feel like this is like a LA gangster murder killer song sort of that turns super pop. But when you think about, man, Coolio 59.
Yes, yeah.
Didn't he have Pimp My Ride? No, that was Exhibit. Okay, but Coolio, man. When did this movie come out? When did this video come out? I mean, on YouTube, it's probably
like, this had to come out. I was young. This had to come out like 94, 95 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, if you look at it, she, I think there was I think I saw a whole thing about him saying she wouldn't appear in the video with him, so they clipped movie parts into it. And then I think it was like one scene she agreed to be at it, but she was like, I will not be doing a rap video. And I remember when Michelle Pfeiffer was like, remember, it's like she was the first not the first white lady, but she was the white lady with the big lips that, like, in the 90s, like, J-Lo, she was like the first J-Lo. Like, you know how big lips wasn't a thing, and then all of a sudden the white lady had them, and then it was like Michelle Pfeiffer, the most beautiful woman in the world. She had that for a while. I think Prince, Prince. Anyway, all right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Jerome said 50 in the club, 50 got 1 billion. I could see that. Look, we ain't got to do the whole how many got 1 billion views, but I bet there are some videos. We should do that. That's a Friday thing. Does it got 1 billion?
1.5 billion.
Dang.
That's sick.
Well, but dun 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 dun. Yeah, just that part right there is enough. Man, those are them songs that are just like staples now. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. So, Riis, let's do this. Let's give him a music and let's stop the music. That, my brothers and sisters, was a moment of silence for Coolio. Give me some Fantastic Voyage too, though. Throw some of that under there. We're gonna run with these headlines under here. Y'all, it's some power plays going on right now. I don't know if you saw yesterday, the headline that I was started with was CTU endorses Brandon Johnson for mayor. But wait, he's not even running for mayor yet. Riis, power plays are going down right now. And I am going to now, I know some of us have certain feelings, but I'm about to call Stacey's Davis Gates. I'm dropping the Davis Gates, and I'm going to call her Stacey G. Because Stacey G is, what do G mean when you call, what up G? What up my G? What that mean? What up my gangster? Right?
Well, what up, my guy? It can mean my
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Chicago, man. This Chicago. If you out south, you say what up, G. That mean gangster, right? I think my guy is probably the millennial version, but what up, G? The G used to be gangster. I know Stacey Davis Gates is not originally from Chicago, but she, I think, is officially putting her gangster down. Yesterday, CTU moved to endorse Brandon Johnson for mayor. Riis, what's it called? Is it a whole card or a whole card?
It's the second one. It's the 304 card.
You sure? Are you sure that?
Positive.
Yeah, but then was it a derivative of whole card?
Nope.
And then we turned it into a whole card?
There's always been a second one.
I don't think so. I think it was your whole card, because you know how it used to be ace in the hole?
No, I'm telling you, it's good.
I'm telling you, it's an evolution, Riis. I'm telling you. I pulled your, first it was, and it was like, whole. Okay, so remember, you've heard of ace in the hole. That's my whole card, right? You know how black people do. Man, don't make me pull your... All right, let me take this L up out of here. So I feel like it's your whole card, but it's turned into whole card. Well, whatever it is, Stacey Davis, I said not Stacey Davis Gates, Stacey G pulled it yesterday. She said, I'm finna endorse my man. Chuy, you keep playing around? You keep playing around? Y'all want to be on the show for 7 o'clock. I'm going to just tell you. I know we be getting cracking around 7:30, 7:40. You going to want to be on at 7 o'clock. Because I when I'm in here in the morning, Riis, by myself in the quiet, it's kind of crazy. Oh, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't say what's up to my man, DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. How you feeling today, man?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest, man. How you doing?
All right, man. I'm all right. I've been getting me some good sleep.
Chilling yesterday, man, with my people yesterday.
Hold on. We're going to talk about that. Matter of fact, let's just talk about it now. So, Riis, you went to the Republican, you did. You know what? Hold on.
I saw Mama D there, too, so shout out Mama D.
Mama D. Oh, you saw Mama D. Okay. All right. So, Riis, was it cracking? Was it packed?
It was full like the
where was it? Okay, wait.
The church. It was for the church. It was like I won't say one of them real big churches, but it was like a nice size church.
Y'all went to a Republican church?
I don't know if it was Republican or Democrat, but
God, what you think God is, Republican or Democrat? Is he independent?
He's definitely independent.
You think so? And do you think God is a he or a she?
Both. I think it's a living being.
Oh, wait. What you mean you believe it's a living being?
I mean, I just like saying, so like when a woman says that God is made in an image of her, is he not? So
in the image of her, looking through the mirror of her eyes of her man.
No. See, I believe that God has no sex.
Then how did he have Jesus?
What you mean? He's the creator. He just put it.
You mean to tell me that God created and don't partake?
And do not partake. He's that powerful, man. How did he make Adam? From dirt, right? So if he can make man from dirt, man.
Do you think that before he made the dirt, do you think he made the dirt in the shape of a?
No, he
just made some dirt. He didn't do none of the process.
None of it. He thought about it.
So you mean to tell me there's no way in the world that God could have created and not no samples? No samples.
And then if I was to really have to choose between a man or a woman, I think that God is probably a woman. I'll take a woman.
We just trying to get.
No, it's life. Like who brings life? A woman brings life. I know we as men want to see God is a man and he does all this, but
this millennial stuff.
I'm telling you, man, God, I'm sorry. You think God a man?
Do you read the Bible? Don't it say him? He.
That's cool. Him. You can still say that him.
Thank you. I mean, how you coming up here?
Written me and man. Man wrote the Bible, so
Well, then why did he put women in there?
What do you mean? I mean, they had to.
I don't want to have.
They had to.
I'm not that in.
No, but the church was about. It was It was like a nice size small congregation church.
Back up.
On
This
the
is what we're
walls
gonna do.
and everything.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Then after we get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna do news, traffic, and weather, and then Riis is gonna tell us about his day at the Republican Black National Convention. Was that what it was? The Republican Black National Convention?
You know what? I don't know. It was just a little. You know, they wanted to just talk. I don't know what it was.
All right, so wait. I don't know. Save it. Look, y'all, when we come back, we going to have Riis went to the National Republican Black Convention yesterday. He going to tell us about it when he came back. Dang, you ain't get no hat, though?
Man, nah, I wanted to get a hat, man.
They
but
didn't give you no hat. Don't tell me about it. Don't tell me. Oh, they had to? All right, look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. DJ Riis the Ruler. When he come back, he going to tell us about his day, the day Riis got flipped to a Republican. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Jurassic World Live Tour. 65 million years in the making. See Jurassic World's most iconic dinosaurs. T-Rex, the Raptor, Triceratops, and more roar to life with epic thrills and heart-pounding adventure. The feeling is real. Experience it live. Jurassic World Live Tour. Coming to Allstate Arena November 3rd through 6th. Free parking for all ticket holders. Visit JurassicWorldLiveTour.com today.
Sesame Street Live, make your magic. Experience the fun. Join Elmo, Abby, and friends on an amazing journey. Filled with surprises and spectacular illusions. Discover the magic in everyday life. When Sesame Street Live comes to your neighborhood. Coming to Rosemont Theater October 7th through 9th. Tickets on sale now. For show details, visit SesameStreetLive.com.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion have to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:37 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over the traffic on the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop will be 30 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 25 on the Edens. Deerfield to the Exchange, 39 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 30. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 42 minutes for 30 minutes back out to Thorndale. While the Stevenson is 55 minutes from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 31 outbound. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 42 minutes, 33 minutes to I-80. While the Dan Ryan is 18 minutes to the Loop, 11 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, we got 7 minutes and 8 minutes north. While today's weather is 50 and cloudy. Today will be a high of 61 with a low of 46. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Thursday. It's Maze Jackson.
Don't leave me now.
are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. Y'all, and it is the Maze Jackson Show. Now, I'm telling y'all 7 o'clock you want to tune in because I'm going to break down this CTU early endorsement. Plus, we got some headlines to get to. But before I get to these headlines, Riis, so you flipped yesterday. You went to the meeting. So when you go to the meeting, was it like a secret knot?
They had their arms open, and you'll be amazed how many actually black people was there. But I think a lot of them really they just like, I guess, fed up with like JB or something like that and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty good because this the first, like my first actual one that I like went to, and they was like pulling out papers and was like reading out, you know, like laws and when it was established and asking their thoughts on the laws and telling him what he voted on the laws and asking him
who was him?
Dan Bailey.
Oh, Darren Bailey was there.
Yeah, I took a picture with him and everything.
Oh, you did. Now, was he a good old country boy?
Yes, sir.
Well, just a good old boy.
Yep. Yeah, he was
never meaning no harm.
Christian. Yeah, look, a good old Christian guy too.
Hey man, he said most of the slave owners treated their kids good. Didn't you see JB treated their slaves good? See, man, I'm telling you, they got this recurring theme in they joints. I'm just saying. So who was the ringleader? Who was the boss? Who put it on? Was King Israel there? Was he? Was he? Wait, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
Okay.
They had some. You know what? I do know her name, and you know her name too.
Okay. Well, we won't give her no. She don't get no airtime here. Okay.
And then I think, but yeah, that's who was like really like running it, talking it. But
okay.
Yeah, but it was cool.
Did you have a good time?
There.
Stephanie Trussell.
Yep, she was there too.
Okay. Did she get to talk?
Oh yeah. She talked too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She was good, another West Sider.
Okay. Was it a lot of people we knew there?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Okay.
The dreadhead cowboy showed up.
Okay. Okay.
He got his horses back, man.
He rode the horse over there?
No, but he got them back. Remember they was trying to take his horse and everything.
Right.
He got his horses back and everything, and he served no time in jail because he was on a little anklet or whatever.
Right.
So they
I seen him at the Inglewood Music Festival.
Exactly. Yeah. They gave him time served for that, and they gave him his horses back.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just like Dorothy Brown, she got her phone back. He got Adam Hollingsworth got his horses back. Dreadhead cowboy.
Yeah.
So Riis the Republican. That's what DJ Riis the ruler. You think they gonna give you any DJ gigs?
Well, I went there. First of all, it's so funny because I go to a Klan meeting with my what's in there for the black people hoodie on. I go right in. So I had with my hoodie. So I get there, and I got a couple of little side eyes. And, it was like, oh, I see you with the what's in it for the black people. So I said, oh, I'm Riis. And then that's when they was like, oh, hey, Riis and whatnot. It was like it's so weird when somebody want to take a picture with me. I don't know what that is. So weird.
It's fame from the Maze Jackson Show. You don't know it'd be on people. They don't want.
And then it'd be like senators and stuff. Like, what are you talking about? I need to be taking a picture with you. But nah, so I went there. Everybody was like talking and stuff. But like I said, it was pretty cool. And then this one guy came and like almost set it on fire with like what's going on with the people that's migrating to
That sounds like Mark.
That's probably what it is. Yeah,
Mark probably.
Yeah. He
short, dark skin.
Yeah, that's
Mark Carter.
He came there, had a whole list of what they was actually saying. So like
Mark is one of the most informed people. I used to always say, if I could get Mark Carter to do opposition research, like in a political campaign, he would be one of the best. But it's like some of us are just, our minds ain't. Mark is a fighter for the people, and so he gonna be in that space. Anyway, yeah, I bet I could name the people that was there. All right, so it was the Riis the Republican. We will see him appearing at a rally near you.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, bro, you better turn it into economic. I'm telling you, he could flip you to one of them Trump shirts in the back. Blacks for Trump. Just Riis, if I see you in one of the slave commercials.
Nah, well, just ask me how much they pay me. That's all you got. That's all you got.
There it is. That's why I'm going to a podcast. right? Because at some point they gonna be like, how much? And you gonna let it?
Hey man, at least I got paid. I got something out of it, something out of the deal. But you know what I'm saying, I brought something back. You know, but I'm gonna bring mine home and deal with. You know, we gonna break bread with that. You know what I'm saying? See, man, people are starved.
Then we gonna have karma forever. Then we gonna be like, this show is some
karma forever. Man, listen, man, it was a race that they had slaves for 400 years. When ain't karma gonna start?
Man, they feel like it's starting now.
God.
And like you seen these buses?
After 600 years.
They trying to fight these buses now, man. All right, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Coolio dead. 59. We gave him a little tribute. Oh, but I did not say what's up to the Saints of WBGX 1570 AM. Let me thank you for joining us every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8. On WBGX 1570, give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Also, if you want to come kick it with us at Obsidian, don't forget to mention that when you give us a call. West Loop attempted kidnapping suspect caught. They caught him, Riis. They had straight up visual pictures, bro.
Yeah, I said it, yeah.
Yep. So caught him. West Loop catcher. Man. But now how they catch him and they can't catch nobody that be kidnapping the women in the hood? We got to call D-Ice to save sisters in the hood. They lickety split. Let me stop. Anyway, also the police station break-in. Remember the dude who broke into the police station, went in the room, climbed in the window, and took some guns that was on the table during the SWAT training? Then got shot and still alive? He had a mental health episode. Clearly he did.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Dog,
like,
you crazy? I just said, what, is you crazy?
Right.
So the politically correct to say, is you crazy? Is, are you having a mental health episode? That's crazy. Exactly. No, pardon me. He's having a mental health episode. Wait a minute. He climbed in the window at a police station. That is crazy. Nope. He's having a mental health. That's what I was saying. Mental health episode. He wanted to die. He had it. Yes.
So how do we know that he's not gonna just be going around? See now, if it was January 1st, man, he already be out of jail already, man.
See, look at you, Republican talking points. Oh God, here we go. Next thing he's gonna be telling us
somebody else's window, jumping in your window, y'all out there.
Right?
See?
Why you Negroes don't want to go to work? Next thing gonna be telling us slavery wasn't so bad. Then
slavery was a choice. I hate when people say
it was
that.
A choice.
No, it was not.
It was a choice.
To live or die.
See, let me just tell you. What's old boy Patrick Henry? What did he say? Give me liberty or give me death. He had a choice. Let me be free or kill me.
Can't kill yourself.
What's my man from the what's my man from y'all ain't see Black Panther? Bury me with my ancestors before I live as your slave. That's why we always survive though, Riis. Because we be like, man, wait, you want me to jump in the ocean? You know I can't swim. You are having a mental health episode. They was like, come on, y'all, let's jump. One of the brothers with the chains on was like, are you having a mental health episode?
And then I be taking like years off. Like, I'm confused. Like, a crime, I don't know. It's no mental health. That person, maybe... But I still don't believe that you allow them to, like, get a reduced sentence because they're not in the right state of mind.
You know how many Negroes have had mental health episodes and robbed the shit out of somebody?
That's what I'm saying. Like, black people, we got a lot of, you know what I'm saying, traumatic in our minds, and we get, slapped in the face.
All right. $1.9 billion. That's $2 billion almost made in gaming and gambling last year. Guess how much black people got, Riis?
Zero.
No ownership. So while we over here talking about cannabis, I just need to remind y'all that there's a $2 billion industry. was that, almost double the cannabis industry that has zero participation. And they be like, y'all keep looking over at that cannabis. And I'm going to break down all the categories a little bit later. Riis, I debated whether I should report this story or not, because I don't really want to do people the way they do me. So I'm going to touch this story twice today in two different contexts. First of all, I don't know if you all saw, this is not me reporting, but the Dan Mihalopoulos from WBEZ reports that Congressman Chuy Garcia's son received pro bono services from a law firm for criminal cases that he gave a big law contract to. Now, I am going to refrain from taking this story and going ham on it. Because I fundamentally believe that you should not put family issues on display in campaign. Now, I would tell you that the same crew, I would tell you that I was not offered the same courtesy, but I will extend it. Pretty exhausting story. And I think it sucks when people's families are brought into their politics, because we all have families. And even as the current Cook County assessor is still assaulting our family, 73-year-old woman, even as the same crew associated with this spent $2 million on TV spots highlighting families, not issues. Even though the Cook County Board president tweeted about and associated my family, I'm not going to talk about the downfalls of this brother's family, except for 2 times. One, it was reported. If you decide you want to talk about it, you can. I mean, you want to read about it, it's in the paper. And then secondly, I will talk about it in the context of what is happening in the mayor's race. But I do want to point out to all of the left-leaning liberals and all of the people who wrote letters and all of the people who thought that it was cool to make family an issue. Everybody's got a file. Everybody's got someone in their family. And we all know that if someone chose to make an issue, they could. Just want to point out to all the people who have family in politics right now, as you see, I'm not going to splash the story. I'm not going to read every line and every detail. I'm not going to do the opposition research to share it in the universe, because that's just disrespectful to it's just not what you do in this space. But I do want to point out to you that it sits out there. So to the Jeff Orrs of the world who decided that, they was feeling all swaggy and all of that, I just want to point out, family. Nobody wants their family involved in their politics. So I'll let that be. Highland Park families are suing Smith & Wesson. Riis, I got to tell you, this whole Highland Park thing is wearing me out. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I feel so much for the tragedy. But it is so crazy to listen to people talk about this like this does not happen to people every single day in Chicago. Like, they are suing Smith & Wesson. Now, I'm not saying, I'm going to say that they probably, Riis, those shooting victims in Highland Park, will get more attention and more done for gun crimes and gun violence than 1,000 people getting shot in Chicago. And so while it is frustrating, I'm going to let them keep doing their thing. But when the lady was like, just imagine a bullet piercing your skin, going at supersonic speeds, and it feels like I was like, it's kind of what it means to get shot that you read in the paper every day. And I just feel like they are making it like this shooting is different than any of the other shootings that happen. Am I wrong for that? Like, I don't is it because it was on the 4th of July? Is it because they're supposed to be impenetrable from that? They're supposed to be in a safe space? I'm going to stop. CPS drops to the 4th largest school system. We are no longer, for the 11th straight year, we've lost student attendance. And now, Riis, we are now 4th. Guess who's ahead of us now?
In the world? I mean, like in the United States? That ain't bad. We 4th. Like 4th to 50 states?
Look at Riis, man.
That ain't bad.
Riis. This is the Millennial Participation Trophy. Riis, we went from 3rd to 4th.
So we dropped down 1.
Riis, you don't want to ever. I don't ever want to lose.
I mean, I don't ever want to lose, but I still think, just imagine a school that's 49th or 46.
Probably Wyoming, where there's only 46,000 people living there.
That's even worse because you don't have to have that many students in the classroom, so you should be able to really pay attention to each student and make sure that.
I agree, Riis, but we lose a lot of money.
I'm looking.
Like, we lose $100,000. Like, we lost, man. See, that's a millennial mindset. He's like, we only lost 1. I'll be like, we lost 1. I'm trying to get to number 1. Millennials. All right, y'all. Hurricane Ian, prayers to everyone in Miami. They said it's like the worst. No, it's Miami, guys. Said it's the one of the worst hurricanes ever to touch down. And finally, yesterday, CPS Riis advanced the near South High School in spite of everything. So I got some questions in the meantime about this whole thing. So why don't we do this? Those are my headlines. Let's take a quick moment, Riis, and why don't you hit the why don't you do me a favor and hit the button because it's time.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
All right. I want you to open up the phone lines. I want people to call me. Give me a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. The social media question of the day: who supports the Near South High School? Now, yesterday, I was ecstatic about State Representative Teresa Ma, threatening to block $50 million in funding for the new CPS school, the Near South School that was to be built on the Harold Ickes homes. Then and I was super excited about the fact that she said the whole component about, and just because I'm not agreeing with this does not mean that I am racist. I thought that was excellent, Riis, because I was like, see? Now when I say it. And then, Riis, what I realized was, after watching Chicago Tonight yesterday, I realized that there was a different spin on this. Riis. Apparently, Representative Ma does not want the school to. Let me not say this. Let me say that there is a debate over the location, and apparently, after reading the paper, I think Grace Chan and Teresa Ma, so I think there's two different sides, right? There is the side that is the Chicagoland people, and then there's Chinatown. Let me break this down. Apparently, the 24th and State Street location makes the school too accessible to other communities, i.e. us. And by using the leverage of the Harold Ickes homes and saying putting it there would put it into a space that was once occupied by the old Harold Ickes homes. So you say, and I'm let me say this, I'm not putting any words in anybody else's mouth, but I want you to see how convoluted the situation has gotten. So the Chinese in Chinatown want a Chinese high school. They do not want to put it per se in the Harold Ickes footprint because it then does become a less Chinese high school and more of a broader swath high school. Think more of like a Whitney Youngish. As compared to putting it in the 78. And when you think about the 78, I want you to think about when you're, you know what Roosevelt, you know when you drive across Roosevelt Riis and you look south and you're like between Whole Foods and let's say between Canal and Clark, and you look south and it's that open field and it's all them bridges and stuff like that. That is the 78. That is where they'd like to put the new school, ideally. Now, putting it there then does not disturb. That, to me, is where, in my estimation, the new growth in the Chinatown area will grow. Like, while we're going to looking at them taking Harold Ickes and all of that, think more of filling in all of that 25th, that area that was unoccupied, where they were trying to put the casino, but that the University of Illinois and the University of Illinois Chicago and University of Chicago are building that nanotech center. So can you imagine if they could put that high school on the 78 next to the University of Illinois that has the largest, and the University of Chicago, which would then create a direct pipeline between the Chinatown community and the University of Illinois and the University of Chicago. Right? Because you know, if you put a Chinese high school with Google coming and all the tech, you now have a technical high school super center that is being built as part of that ecosystem. Now, if you put the school on 24th and State, it then does not become a pipeline to Chinatown. It becomes a pipeline for Chinatown and some of the other schools that would be disenfranchised. Now, understand that the CHA land use is really the Chinese opportunity to be pro-black but still say segregated. No. Don't put the school on the land at 24th and State where there's roads, buses, and everything go. We know that, and it's going to take us 3 to 4 years to build this school. So if we put this school right here on 24th and State as compared to putting it in the 78, that in 4 years, right now we see it as blank land, but in 4 years, around it will sprout a new world, a new community, nanotech center, home, housing, all of that. We can have a pipeline for the future. So now, I'm confused as to whose side I'm on. Did I make that make sense at all, or am I confusing it? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. So, what is happening is the black people are forced to make a choice between bad and worse. Chinatown and their advocates want a new high school, but they want it on the new land in the new place that's going to have all of the new stuff, i.e. the 78. Now, we can't see it that way because all we see is blank land. But you know that they just you know that if the University of Illinois and the University of Chicago are investing in a nanotech center that goes all the way back to Bruce Rauner, and now that is going to be the anchor, and they were going to tie it to the casino, but whether the casino happened or not, that community is going to grow and sprout. And as it grows and sprouts, it will be filled in by the fastest growing population. So now if I am looking not at 2 years from now, but 4 years or 6 years or 8 years from now, I'm looking at not having the same problem that the South Loop has now. Right? Because the South Loop now is they don't want to send their kids to. So the Chinese want a Chinese high school. They ain't trying to do South Loop. They trying to do Chinatown. And if you paid attention, she was like, we need to be at a place where we can deal with transit students that are learning English, that are new to English, etc. So we know that there's going to be an influx of Asian community, and if you know that it's going to build and it's already connected to Chinatown and you're going to be bringing in the most wealthy, right? Guess what, Riis? In 8 years, when those 8th graders come to full fruition, they got a brand new tech high school that's got a pipeline that's centered around the Nanotech Center and the University of Illinois and the University of Chicago, thus creating a hyperloop of education and tech that will then feed the story that came out yesterday that says that Chicago, with Google coming, will be the tech center of Google coming here. They're going to eat up all our tech jobs. Not in a bad way. So you build a new nanotech high school to feed the Google headquarters and the technology needs that your children have, that the city will have. And what Google tells me is that, I'm not saying Google told me, but what the Google move tells me is that as water and fires go crazy on the West Coast, we will start to see more people reoccupy and relocate. Look, y'all. I can't. So the conundrum becomes, right? And so now let me just throw the other side of this, right? Because we automatically assume that Alderman Dow is against the black kids because of South Loop. Well, I would now look at it and say, well, what she probably did was go to her colleague Susan Lee and say, let's split the baby, right? So what you see is the city of Chicago aldermen who have to work together and their colleagues getting together and coming together. So it's not Susan Lee. What's her name? Give me her name. the new alderman, the new alderman of 11 and the alderman of 2 getting together and saying, okay, let's create a Whitney Young, whereas the Asian community is saying, no, let's create an Asian high school.
Is it Nicole?
Nicole. So Nicole, as a city of Chicago alderman, who has to get along and does not have the rank, because if I'm Alderman Dow, gosh darn it, you ain't finna build a whole new high school, and I got this growing white population that is also not willing to go to Tilden and not willing to go to Phillips. So damn it, you gonna put that high school where we can all get a piece of it. In the meantime, CHA land becomes a minor issue. The only reason CHA is an issue for the Asians is because it gives them the opportunity to leverage what? Our pain and suffering for their benefit. No, don't take that land. Take this land. I hope I didn't. I hope that y'all. Did that make sense at all? And so it's when you become caught up in the damned if you do, damned if you don't. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Give me a call, 872-259-7474. Do you support the Near South High School? Caller? Caller, you on there?
Shalom, Maki.
What's up,
Yeah,
Jake?
shalom, Maki.
What's up, man? What's up, my brother? Hey, real quick. The thoughts and opinions of Jacob Israel are thoughts of Jacob Israel. This is an official disclaimer. What's up, my brother? How you feeling today? And it was a big jug of juice.
Good.
It was a big jug, dog. It was a big jug.
Thanks for taking a call, bro. You ain't salty. Good. That's great. Hey, yo, I agree with old girl you saw about yesterday. Let them put it over there. What is 22nd, like west of Chinatown? That's cool. Now, one thing about it, it's not a Chinese school or Asian school. Anybody can go to the school if you qualify. They can't do that. That's against. They just can't. Okay, this is our school. Anybody that qualify can go to that particular school. It's up to our people, their parents. I'm a tech guy. You know what I mean? I graduated. I told you I was the ITT. But and I went to control data. When I moved back to, I was living in Michigan, and then I moved back, and I went to control data downtown. And, you know what I mean, started working for control data when the lottery machines first popped off. And, you know, had a van and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. I'm in that particular, that's what I do, kind of. But anybody can go to their school. I prefer that CHA, if it was up to me, they, you know, build affordable houses and let the people, hopefully the people, some of them who got displaced and still around, can have the first option to go back to that particular area in new housing that's just built from the ground up. That's what I prefer. Because it's not like they build it there, Dow or whatever did. She was the white people. They can go to the school if they put her over there by UIC or whatever. Put it right there. I would prefer that. And the last thing, I'm gonna get off the phone. I'm sure they're gonna be calling on this topic. Hey, Riis, it's written in the book, bro. It's a he. He got hair like lamb's wool. I'm talking about the creator himself, not in the New Testament. He got hair like a lamb's wool and eyes, fiery eyes. And also, every creation comes from man. The women are incubators and they come through us, and we all swim up and fight and get incubated and come to the earth. They birth us, though. Shalom to the sisters. Love to y'all. Shalom. And I'm glad you went to the meeting, man. Shalom, Maki Israel, man.
Shalom. That's Jake, man. Jake gonna have the ladies walking around in white robes with no shoes on. Is anybody else on the line? Call you on the Maze Jackson Show. Do you support the and Jake, let me back up. Jake, they can draw the boundaries of the schools so that it's uninclusive. What's up, caller? You on the Maze Jackson Show. Do you support the Near South School or no?
I support it. What's up, Go? What's up, Riis? What's up, family?
What up,
I support it. Hey, I support it. Again, there should be no selective enrollment schools. All schools should be open. And then this is where Riis went to the Republican meeting. Where are they on school choice? If a local school is failing, you should be able to take your tax dollars anywhere that CPS has a school. And if there's an opening, then they should be able to give it to you, no questions asked. So again, Chicago was based the way that the oil that allows Chicago to move is segregation. That's it. So everybody that comes to Chicago consciously or subconsciously buys into the segregation. This is no different. We want our schools separate but equal as well. It's okay, because I know when you put a black child in the right environment and they are safe and they have the right food and protection, they will be academically competitive and academically strong. I know that. So this is where we got to step our game up. You got to get into these school curriculums, look at the CIWPs, and see what programs are not in your schools, and document that. Remember, this is why we told y'all to be on these local school councils. Y'all could have got on there with no votes, but y'all don't listen. So now that's why it ain't no need of complaining. Don't complain. If you have children in Chicago public schools, even if you're an advocate for black people, you could be on these local school councils. Yes, you can. And you have to educate yourself on what's being taught and what's not being taught. So, hey, let them people get their school. And I want the exact same windows, HVAC, lunch, kitchen, janitorial services, playgrounds that they got, and we want them in the same black schools. And that's how you get it. And go right back to the court and say, see, now we have proof that the schools are not equal by law. And everybody that's against it, you put this in their face. So don't trip on them getting their stuff, because this is all that's what they're gonna do. So, hey, we just gotta get to work. Right. Don't even trip. And it is political, and it is the aligning, like you talked about, people in control of the state school board. All this stuff is in perfect alignment. That's why I was able to go through so fast with no problem.
There it is. That's how
it ain't like you ain't told them, bro. You've been telling us. You have been telling us.
I have tried to tell you. That is our man Devo on his way to work with the turn signal. Look, is anybody else on that line? I got to take a quick break, but let's do this. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. What you got for me?
Maze.
Uh-oh, now this ain't...
Nothing changes.
Hold on, this ain't James Say. Who is this?
Maze. Nothing changes but the faces and the days on the calendar.
Oh, what's up, Brother Ball?
You know I will come to tell it all.
Brother Ball. Hey, hold on, Brother Ball. Oh, that's me. Brother Ball, I see you was talking a little smack at Simeon, dog. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little couple.
Man. I know you saw me back there. You saw me on the grill.
I saw you. I'm going to give Simeon the machine for a little while. Y'all had y'all day. I'm going to give y'all. I started to throw y'all a free party over at Obsidian, but I was like, I couldn't take all the blue and gold. But okay, it's all good. What's up, Brother Ball, man? We ain't heard from you in a minute. What's going on? And how the shorties doing, man?
They good, man. We on our way now, man. I'm on the pickup and drop off move right now, man.
That's what I love.
Everybody get ready. Yes, sir. I'm still on my daddy duties, man.
That's what we need. So talk to me, Brother Ball.
Yeah, man. About these schools, you know, everybody is saying give them their schools, but ain't nobody saying give us our school. Nobody's standing behind us in our school. So here's the thing, man. I want to be one of the first to advocate just homeschool. You know, just homeschool. Unless you really sending your, you know, my son told me, you know, my son is 7th grade now. My son told me, he said, Dad, I miss school, but you know what school is for me? I said, what? He said, a place to, you know, hang out with my friends. I get to get out of the house. You know, the teachers really not teachers. Only the cool ones are really good teachers. If your teacher really don't like you, she really not trying to teach you anything. And if you learn different from the other students, they really not putting in the effort. Now, if a 12, 13, my daughter is, you know, she's in 5th grade. If these children can come home and tell you certain things about what's going on in schools, we all know how these schools get open. We all know how these schools pop up. We all know which schools are good. We all know which schools are bad. But one thing we all can agree on, nobody is on any other radio station without pigment challenged people saying give the black state school. Nobody is advocating for Morgan Park to get a facelift. Nobody is definitely advocating for Julian to get a facelift. I don't know what finger look like no more. Hell, I ain't rolled past Carver because I don't go in the garden. But I guarantee you, nobody that just called and told you that it's okay for all these other people to get these top-of-the-line schools. Our schools don't even have solar panels on them, man. Our schools don't even have adequate Wi-Fi. The basic essentials that most homes have, our schools don't have. So, you know what? Let's use our vote this year and really stand on something. Let's use our voice this year and all the next year and stand on something. If you want us to participate, equally include us. If it's not equal, it's not fair, and the balls will not roll up in there. That's my motto. That's always been my motto. You don't treat us equal, we don't have to be there.
Hey, man, that's how I feel. I'm looking at this and I understand that nobody will accept the same things that we will accept for our children, right? And it's like, it's so apparent, like that these people will go they will go out of their way to build a school, go send their kids to another school, drive them 200 miles out the way because they don't want their children in the same space with us. And I think that we have to, like, to me, what I recognize, if you put that school, Brother Ball, in the 78 and you know that the University of Illinois is going to be fully invested in that area, what you are doing is guaranteeing their future. Just like if you put our kids in a school that has no resources, you're guaranteeing their future. And I don't think that we always see the correlation. And I also got to say this, man. And I can't agree with you, Brother Ball, on everybody need to homeschool. I got to be with my sister on that, because some of the people, you don't want the everybody's not capable or equipped to homeschool. We saw that even with what happened with the homeschooling for COVID. But what I do think is that we have to be more intentional about the education of our children. I think that we, for so long, when our children were in schools, we had black teachers there that made up for the love, the loss, all of the other stuff. I just don't think it's there anymore. And so understanding that you can't, if you know that now the person is like, okay, well, I'm going to meet you where you at, instead of that teacher going the extra effort. And I'm not hating on any teachers. What I'm saying is we can, like, I come from Bolingbrook. I could not imagine hating on a new school being built. I'd be like, people would be trying to go there and then people would want to go to the new school. But the reason that there's so much angst about this school is because we know that the education is not the same here in Chicago. The only reason anybody's tripping on that school is because we know that whatever happens, that school is going to be resourced because of who goes there. Now, who wants to share those resources with us? Not a lot of people, as we can see. Brother Ball, man, I miss you calling, man. You got to call some more. You got to start getting back in. I know
we'll do,
this,
man.
This is still the home of the Raiders, but you know, Simeon, Wolverines, whatever. Hey, man, it's my man, Brother Ball. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Hey, man.
Love.
All right, we got one more call. Let's take this next call. Call you on the Maze Jackson Show. Do you support the Near South High School? What's up, caller?
Hi, this is Katie.
Katie!
How are you?
What's up, Katie from Ashburn, president of the phone club? What's up?
Well, I've been getting around town, and I'm happy that you brought that up because I didn't think about that. I was in, like you said, they playing for the long run, and a lot of they're building up a lot. Google and all other tech companies, they want to make this the new Mecca, just like you said. I was over in the Fulton, my dermatologist is over in the Fulton area, and it just blows my mind about the energy in that area. They're building like, it's a new world over there. Over there in that area, and they're preparing, just like you said, with all of this space. We have an office space downtown and over in the Fulton market area where they're just building. They're preparing for new people that's coming into Chicago. They're preparing to educate them, and I agree with you. Our children must be in that mix. They have to be in that mix of what's coming. So if they do put that school there, maybe it is a better spot because it would allow our children to get into that mix and be properly educated. So that's whatever, we can do to keep our children ahead, just like other people that's coming over here and want to run with everything that the United States has to have. I want our children to be owners and to be in that mix and be properly educated so they could run the world too. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right. And you hug that beautiful grandbaby, too. I know he out there killing the ladies. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. Look, this South Loop school, look at me calling it the South Loop. Riis, it's not the South Loop. It's the near South High School. Kind of a conundrum. I'm okay with Chinatown wanting to have their own high school. And again, if you think about, I think we're thinking of the population now, and I think they're looking at the population trends. So by the time that high school is built and it's ready to go, they will be able to populate it, and they will pull their students, send them there, and then as the 78 continues to build, then they would have a direct pipeline to what all of the new development that's coming into the 78. Most specifically, because who is the largest population at the University of Illinois right now? People from China. Right? And they pay a premium. And so when they get their University of Illinois education and then they come back to Chicago where there is a growing tech hub, this is the long game versus the short game. It's pretty genius. I think it was brilliant of the Chinatown advocates to attempt to leverage the Harold Ickey's homes to create their own space. This makes me say, where is ours? So, might I suggest that there be a power black school on the south side and a power white school on the power black school on the west side? Right? Like you see how that, like, I feel like segregation is so baked in that even when they try to crack it, they bake it in. Could there be could King become, and I don't even say King, right? Because I think you got to build, I don't think it's a repurposed school. I think you build a bright, shiny school with all of All of the tools in the toolbox. Everything. State-of-the-art computer center, right? No traveling mobile labs, no none of that. Everything in the school, and you say, and not a repurposed building, straight from the ground up with everything that it could possibly have, and you say that school is built for 2,000 students. It's the Black Excellence High School. You do the same thing on the west side, from the ground up. If Asian community can have a high school and they go, man, I am not against anyone having their own. It is undeclared in the most cases. Most neighborhood schools are segregated. Real talk. It's either black, Latino, or black and Latino. The white schools are the white schools. Whitney Young, mixed. Kenwood, barely mixed. Right? So my premise is, and they're not trying to get more space in Whitney Young, so my premise is, why not build, is there not a place where Black excellence for Black students all the way through, where if you don't have to fight to get your kid into Whitney Young or Kenwood or whatever, and there is the school that you build a bright one. You build it. And it's selective enrollment, or it's open enrollment to all wards that have an income of blah, 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 blah. And you write the rules. And you say, y'all want a Latino high school? We're going to build you the Latino Premier High School of the Year. But I don't know that continuing to pretend like this race thing is not prevalent. Like, yo, fam, they want to build their own high school, and they're using the fact that the land was on the old Harold Ickes, and I gotta tell you, that was genius. And then what had me cheering, because I'm like, they gonna call you racist, and you're not racist for wanting the best for your children. Now, I think it speaks volumes that, you know how they always tell us to invest in the schools and be part of the school and say, why are you involved? Well, why wouldn't that same strategy work for the Asians at Phillips? Why couldn't they all come and bring all their expertise and come over to the school and make Phillips better? Because that ain't theirs. They have no investment in our future. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, we got guests. We talking about education. Speaking of education, we got 100 black men. Now, they didn't bring 100 black men with them, did they, Riis? It ain't 100 people out there, is it?
Just 99.
99? All right, well then 99. So I want to know, who is the 100th black man?
They left that one open for you.
No, I'm not good enough, man. They cut me. They was like, oh no. No. But anyway, let me tell you what. These guys are doing some amazing work in the city of Chicago. These brothers come from all over. And when Sharon Troop sends you an email or a text and says, can you get my people on? You say, can I? Of course I could. But I am one of the premier black male organizations of men doing positive things in our community as 100 black men. And they have their big scholarship, their big college fair coming up, and so they're going to talk to you about it. So I want y'all to get y'all pens and papers out and get them ready, because we're going to tell you how you get enrolled in the college fair. All right? It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, my man DJ Riis the Ruler, and then I guess I'm going to have to push my 7 o'clock back to 8 o'clock, because at 8 o'clock, we getting ready to get it cracking. STACY G! That's right. Stacey Davis Gates is now renamed Stacey G, because Riis, she pulled the whole card. It's whole, not, you know how black people do. All right, we'll talk about it all when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live.
Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's made Riis and Ruthie and Chuy, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. Trying to do nothing. We gotta do something. We gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Now, normally we play it at the top of the hour, but I got carried away. Oh, Lord, these schools, this education, it just, as a dad, as a father, it weighs on me. It weighs on me tremendously. And part of the educational process is, we all know that education is a key to our children's future. And so when we have these discussions about school, and don't forget, at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk about STACY G. I changed her name from Stacey Davis Gates to STACY G because she pulling some STACY G moves. But education, and it always seems to be such a controversial issue because we know what education means to our children's future. See, Riis, now that's when you're supposed to play. I believe the children are future, teaching well. And you're supposed to play the Eddie Murphy version. No, I'm just playing. But you should, this is what I want you to do, though, because we're getting ready to talk about some good stuff, and I want you to do, why don't we do, see if you can find Children Are the Future and then do Nas, I Know I Can, right? Let's get those two going. Let's have them as the beds. But here with me today, ladies and gentlemen, is the executive director of what has to be one of the most impactful black organizations of the last 25 years. Now, I don't want to shortchange you. So I'm going to let you tell me. I'm going to let you get me straight. But I can think, for me, Mays Jackson personally, probably about the last 25 years, 100 Black Men has been a beacon, not just in Chicago, but in cities around the country. And the 100 Black Men has really done a lot in the area, particularly for education, scholarships, and do a tremendous amount of events. But here to tell us about their big event coming up, their college fair, is Charles Walton, Executive Director of 100 Black Men. Charles, welcome to the Mays Jackson Show. How are you today, my brother?
Great, Mays. Great.
Well, welcome to the Mays Jackson Show. This is not the first time that 100 Black Men has been here, but it is the first time I think you've been here. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself before you tell me about 100 Black Men. Who the heck is Charles Walton?
Bronzeville, born and raised, Mays. I grew up right down the street on 36th and State in the old Stateway Gardens, and matriculated out to South Shore for high school.
What high school did you go? You went to South Shore?
Went to South Shore.
Okay.
Class of 73.
Okay.
Left the city to go to undergrad out in Nebraska, and came back, did my graduate work here, and started my corporate life, my entrepreneurial life, and my not-for-profit executive management life. So I've lived all over the world, but I keep coming back to Chicago. Chicago's home. This is where I want to be. This is where I will be.
Awesome. So now you are the executive director of 100 Black Men. Tell me who exactly is, and tell our audience, who exactly is 100 Black Men? And is it actually 100?
No. That name is somewhat of a misnomer. It comes back from the beginning of the organization, 100 Black Men of America, which was started in New York City by luminaries such as Percy Sutton and David Dinkins back in the mid-'60s. They looked at the things that were happening in inner city New York, and they said, what we need is 100 Black men to turn this around. Okay, so it's stuck. You're not limited to the number of people that you have participate locally, but the name is symbolic of the early start of the organization back in New York.
And so now tell me about, because it started the early start. So how long has it been in existence?
Since 65, we've been here in Chicago since 94.
Okay. And now tell me about the mission of 100 Black Men specifically today, from where it came.
Well, we're still definitely about increasing the educational and economic opportunities for young Black men across the greater Chicagoland area.
And so how do you do that?
Through our programming. You know, we in the past have been very instrumental in, for the last 20 years, doing this college scholarship fair. We do a health and wellness fair. We do a annual toy drive, and we do mentoring. And mentoring is what we really sink our teeth into. That's what got the organization started. That's what's going to sustain it, because we need to invest in our young people.
So tell me about that mentoring, and what does that look like?
Well, we do it in a group mentoring fashion. It's called Mentoring the 100 Way. We built up a reputation that says that we are one of the most influential Black mentoring organizations in the country. And typically we pick them up at middle school, grade 6, all the way through high school. And that is our core group of young people that we prepare for college, prepare for higher education, prepare for grades and careers. And then beyond that, we don't drop them. We have a group called the Collegiate 100, which we follow and mentor through their undergraduate years. And then we have an even older group called the Emerging 100. These are people who have obtained their college degrees or started their professional careers and now are making significant economic impact into the Black community.
So now, how does a young person get involved in the mentoring component?
They just reach out to us.
Now, how do they find out about you then? When you say just reach out to you, how do young Black men find out? How do they find out to know where to reach?
First and foremost, just go to www.100bmc.org. Okay? And you could select one of the tabs that says, I'm interested in our mentoring program, and we'll get you started.
Okay.
We do what we call a Saturday Academy in 4 sites across the greater Chicagoland area: South Side, South Suburbs, West Side, Western Suburbs.
Okay. And what does that entail? Like, and how many times a month or a year? Or how often does it? What is the commitment for a parent, for a child, or excuse me, a young man to be involved?
We want that young man or young woman to be involved in our program every Saturday, not just selective Saturdays, but every Saturday. The more reach we can have, the more interaction we can have with them, the greater the impact we can have with them.
And what do they do on these Saturday events?
Well,
and how long is it on Saturdays too?
It's a couple of hours. It's typically from 10 to 12, maybe a little bit longer if we have certain activities going on, field trips, things of that nature. But we want a minimum of 2 hours of their time to put something into their head. We have a curriculum that talks about what they need to do as far as developing soft skills, educational skills, cultural skills, things of that nature.
All right, you mentioned field trips. My son is always talking about field trips. Where are the field trips? What kind of field trips and what kind of stuff do you do with them when you guys are out with them?
Wow, there's a young lady named Carrie Steele who invited us out to the water reclamation plant because they wanted to make sure that they knew that there were governmental entities with black people at the lead and expose the young people to the types of things that the district was doing. We take them to sporting events, but we take them on college field trips. We take them to cultural enrichment events.
Awesome. All right, so check this out. You guys have a big event coming up what is coming up actually in 2 weeks, right?
That's correct.
So talk to me about this. Get me fired up. Let's get fired up because look, I have a college senior, right? And it is turning into that time of the year. I just had a daughter that went and we tried to pay straight out of pocket. Woo! Lord have mercy. So this time we are trying to do this thing right? We trying to get through the scholarships. We're trying to get through this process. But like my sister, I'm watching the people on the Mom Squad. These moms have spreadsheets. They got all types of things going on. Talk to me about this college fair and what it means for our young people and why should they be excited about going?
Well, the whole concept of going to college has been dwindling, especially since the pandemic hit. You know, people have kind of slacked off on pursuing it. Our college scholarship fair for the last 20 years has provided these young people with the opportunity to do some one-stop investigation, one-stop shopping, so to speak. We bring these colleges, over 150 colleges together in one site. They get to talk to the reps, get to introduce themselves, get to interact, get to put their information out in front of them, get to understand what the requirements are to go. And then at our fair, we have quite a few individuals who get on-site admission and on-site scholarships.
Wait. What you mean on-site admission and on-site scholarships? How can they admit you into college before you get to college, before you apply? How does that work?
Hey, that whole process.
Y'all got the plug.
Yeah, we got the juice.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Now, let me back up because I think this is one of those things, right, where so we have a broad audience. And one of the things that I think is important is understanding the power of the network, right? And one of the reasons that I would encourage you to get your young people to this college fair is because 100 Black Men has a nationwide network, right? That this scholarship fair taps your young people into even before they've built up their own network. So wait a minute. So how does this college fair work? Like what I got to do?
All right, when you go to 100bmc.org, okay, click on the tab that says College Scholarship Fair, and first and foremost, students and parents can register for the fair. It's not just the students that have to be vested and involved, it's got to be the parents, okay? So in doing that, you register yourself to receive additional information, counseling, advice, guidance, from the 100, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to go, wait a minute. So I'm at the site, and then I go to where?
Okay, scroll down a little bit.
Okay. Education,
bam,
upcoming events.
You see that red button that popped up?
College Scholarship Fair, bam. So now we looking at the college scholarship, and then I'm going to go to the parent-student media, right?
That's correct.
All right. And then as I'm going through the parent-student media, you keep telling me, and I'm going to do it as you tell me.
Okay. It'll say,
wait, it's free?
It's free.
Hold on. Let me move this up so people can see this part. Because I think y'all, now look, man. The parents is free. The students is free. The press is free. Why y'all doing this all for free?
It's at a cost, but it's not at a cost to you.
So now talk to me. So explain to me about now. So I go to this college fair. I register, I sign up. Now what do I do? Once I sign up, what do I need to come with?
Your student needs to come with, first and foremost, an open mind and hopefully a dream. And if the dream isn't there, then maybe we can plant the seed to start the dream to start to germinate, okay? We have kids who are 8th graders, sophomores, not just seniors that come to our fairs, because they need to do the investigation early on. They need to be in front of these schools to see what the requirements are. So if they have enough lead time, they can maybe vector and pivot and change the course of their educational direction to make sure they meet those standards, okay?
Okay.
So the more preparation you do, the better off you're going to be. So those juniors and seniors that come to the fair, they should bring their test scores.
Okay.
They should bring their transcripts.
Okay.
They should bring a little vitae that tells them what they're about.
Oh, what?
Their resume, their vitae.
Vitae? What's a vitae? Help me out, man. I feel terrible.
That's an educational word
Okay.
that just talks about what my background is and what I've done.
Okay. All right, so now this event is October 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the UIC Forum. Now tell me some of the colleges that's going to be there.
Wow, we've got all the Big Ten schools.
ILL, baby!
There you go.
Fighting Illini. That's
We've
right.
got
You're
some
not bringing
Ivy.
Eastern. Eastern not coming out of
Eastern's going to be there. All the state schools going to be there.
You let the directional schools come too, man. All right, we ain't gonna give them no drama. You know, I give Riis the business. Go ahead, tell me who else will be there.
Okay, we've got Ivy League schools, and then we've got HBCUs.
Really?
They can be local, or they can be we got Pomona College, which is one of the outstanding colleges on the West Coast that'll be there. Okay.
Is that one of them colleges where they got the scenic views and all the good stuff?
There you go.
Oh, okay. So now, what else should we expect at the college fair?
Well, if you haven't been doing your research, then you can attend one of the informational sessions that talk about how do I secure financing for my college education? What types of careers are hot? Which types of careers may not? You can get to meet people who have already matriculated through those colleges and universities, so you can understand what life on that campus is all about, be it Greek life, be it cultural life, whatever it is you need to know. We've got something there for you.
All right, y'all. So look, October 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the UIC Forum. That's 725 West Roosevelt Road. It will be the 2022 100 Black Men Scholarship Fair. Now, talk to me. How many people do people usually come out of there successful?
Very successful, Maze. A lot of students, as I mentioned, if they have their paperwork together and they've been doing their business correctly,
yes,
and they may be a first generational student, meaning mama and daddy didn't have the experience and really don't know how to go about obtaining entrance into an institute of higher education. Well, I mentioned before, provided you qualify, some admissions counselor at that fair may say, come on, Maze, we like what we see in you. We like to admit you right here, right now. Okay, let's fill out this application. Let's get your dream started. On top of that, depending on your financial situation or your merit, we may give you some of the money or all of the money to go to school at our university. That's why college scholarship fair, okay? You not only have the opportunity to get information on some of the best schools in this country, information on how to finance it, information on how to get in, but all those things may happen right there on site.
Now, let me ask you another question. Because sometimes, man, in this new millennial generation, always, I'm not sure how you supposed to dress. Nowadays they put gym shoes on with a suit and all type of stuff. And I'd be like, man, people wear a $2,000 Brooks Brothers suit and got on some Air Jordans with it. Talk to me about what should your child dress like? How should they be prepared for it?
I would say come business casual, a pair of slacks, a decent shirt or blouse.
Can they wear their jumpers or no?
If they want to wear their pro kids or their
not pro kids, not the pro kids,
or their Air Jordans, that's what kids are wearing, and that's what they'll be wearing on the university campuses also. But again, you want to stand out, and let's face it, if you show up in a t-shirt and blue jeans and there are 100 other kids or 1,000 other kids that are doing the same, are you going to stand out? No. Sometimes you got to be flexible. Sometimes you got to do what it takes to get to where you want to go, or at least get in the door. So if you present well, you're going to hold somebody's attention much more than if you don't present well. And that's just a fact.
Charles, let me just ask you this, because you mentioned this at the beginning, and I think it's interesting. Right now, we're moving into a place where there seems to be a de-emphasis on the need for a college education, whether it's the combination of debt, certificates, tech. Talk to me about why college is still important, particularly for Black men.
Maze, one of the things that we always seem to be challenged with in other people's eyes is our credentials. Doesn't matter how smart or bright you may be, people want to understand that you've gone through some standard rigor that says that you have qualified your education and your knowledge base. It's the same thing if you go to a trade school. You can be a jackleg electrician and be very, very successful, but are you a certified electrician or plumber or something that went through the rigors of somebody saying this is the right way, this is the best way, this may be the only way you're going to do this correctly. Same thing with the educational process. The more education we have, the better we're going to be as far as harnessing that information, utilizing that information, and impressing other people that we are qualified and we can do the job. Now, we all want a chance, but let's face it, you got to have something to even get in the door. Your knowledge and your education, even the start of an education, is better than no education. Your credentials, even once you've gotten your degree, an advanced degree or some certification, is always going to be for the better, okay? So that's what we need to focus on. We need to always look at continual process improvement as far as ourselves. Not only will we uplift ourselves, we'll uplift our communities.
Man, so let me put something out here real quick. Hope mentioned this, and you guys, I talked about dress sometimes because parents don't know, and they don't know how to address appropriately. I would also say if you don't have the freshest of the fresh clothes, but you want to make your future better, you can still come, right?
That's correct.
Yes. So you should come. And then if you don't have it, then you probably need to also join up the 100 Black Men for the mentoring, because I got a funny feeling. Because some of the brothers I know, they let me say, I have not met an unimpressive 100 Black Men. That's why they won't let me in, y'all. But that's a whole nother story, right? And I wish I would have just told me it was 100. Then I wouldn't feel bad about myself. That means it's 200 and I still didn't make the cut. No. The thing that I also want to make sure is that, guys, you understand that we always talk about Black men who aren't or who are not present. The 100 Black Men has been a force and a presence. And there are so many brothers that I know, my own personal, very, very, very good friends, who have helped me along my way or been a part of my journey. And so this is a resource that I want to encourage you all to look at. You know, I think of, we put in front of our young people, it's usually social media, it's somebody that's got a big platform, and that's kind of what gets pushed in the forefront. And you see quiet, stealthily brothers like this that are out here that are putting on fairs, health fairs, because it's important that we talk about the health issues that impact our young people, teaching them the things that are the most essential parts of manhood that maybe we don't always have the skill set or have people. They are a resource in our community. And I want you all to take this scholarship fair seriously. Look, I'm coming back early to take my boy to this fair, because for all of the stuff that we talk about and that we know, this is a very daunting and intimidating process. And it would be great to have some brothers along the way who can help you through it. So sisters, women can come, right?
That's right.
All right, so it's not just for boys. It's not just for young men. It's for young women and young men. Please come check out the College Scholarship Fair 2022 put on by the 100 Black Men. Excuse me, Charles, you got anything you want to say before you go?
We look to see you there. Take advantage of the situation. We like to say they'll be what they see, okay? So be a positive influence, not only to your child, but some kid in the neighborhood by showing up and showing that you care.
Can I bring somebody?
Sure you can. Bring as many people as you want to, Maze.
Look at that. Hey, y'all. So let me tell y'all what. You know, y'all gonna be mad at me because I'm gonna be telling all y'all, Eric, y'all need to go. Matter of fact, what y'all need to do is get somebody over here to write a 30-second spot and get us a commercial. Or if you got a commercial already for it, give it to us and we'll run it from now until it's time, until the scholarship, right? Because this is a service. This is what we do. This is what's in it for the Black People Media. 100 Black Men came here today and answered the question. And you came in here looking kind of militant, bro. I thought I think I got to go get my free Huey sign and bring it in, because Charles, you came in here looking like, I was like, we got the Panthers today? What's going on? Hey, man, and you got that beard. You killing it with that beard, too. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Charles Walton. He is the executive director of 100 Black Men Chicago College Scholarship Fair. Did you hear that? Not college fair, College Scholarship Fair, October 15th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the UIC Forum. Bring the young people who are ready to go to college or who are trying to have a dream. And even if they not, if they 8th grade, 9th grade, expose them and expose them early. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here today, Charles.
Thanks, Maze. Appreciate you.
All day. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Now, it's too late to say bye to the peoples. But when y'all come back, I'm finna get it in, because we about to talk about Stacey D. That's right. Stacey Davis is now Stacey G. Man, she put the smack down yesterday. She was like, all right. Riis, you got kids, so I can't ask you. But I still think it's whole card, not what you call it card. Yesterday, Stacey Davis Gates did one of them. You know how when you got cards and the people stick it on their head like this, and then they be like, "What you want?" She put it down on the paper yesterday. It's like a big game of bid-wits, and she finna run a Boston. We'll talk about it more when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
Smiling more every day, closer to my dreams. Hey, guapole, the food tastes better. I stopped smoking squares, healing from the inside out, making repairs. I forgave some people, thanked them for the lessons, cause holding on to it was blocking my blessings. No more stressing, worry dishonors God, so I just pray, and I'm loving my gangsters. Yo, raps ain't like mine. Big down from the west side. This is my best self. Taking vacations, hoping the rest helps. Got a career now, loving what's ahead. My spirit is free from the stuff that I shared.
I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about.
I'm feeling so good now, walking on higher ground. Got out the country, visit some new towns, made some new friends, let go of some bad ones. Soon as that took place, everything got fun. My lifestyle going up, opportunity showing up. I'm back where I wanna be, no headaches and throwing up. Reconnect with the homie, it's positive energy, vibes and wavelengths. It's all about frequency. I'm back with my first love, it feel like the first time. I'm back in the studio, this ain't my first rhyme. I wake up every day, blessed as heavenly. Before I ain't say much, now I got much to say. Raised my credit score, got rid of some past debt. Heard that's attractive, well call me a magnet. Plug into an outlet, living life outright. All on my Kid Cudi, focusing day and night. Right?
Now ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about.
See, my state gets busy, that's the cardinal rule.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had internet naked on their body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, that's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And let the seal carrier stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
up, Chicago? Oh, wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Was there extra bass in that or something? It felt like something was happening at the end of that. The boom, 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 it's the Maze Jackson Show, 8 o'clock hour. And I really have spent more time on everything but what I was going to talk about. I forgot that I had the 100 Black Men until I wrote my whole script. And so now I'm trying to decide where I want to go here. First of all, anybody on the phone line, give us a call, 872-259-7474. I think everybody should sign their young people up to go to this college scholarship fair. I think it should be a What's in it for the Black People media outing, a BP1 media outing. So that's that. Was just caught my headlines, caught my eye from Apple News. Riis, a new study confirms what many women suspected. The COVID vaccine can change your period. And I know you're asking me where the hell did that come from? But it's a headline in the Washington Post today, which makes me also say what are going to be the other effects, right? Like, this to me is a setup of be prepared for birth issues or child issues if you had the COVID vaccine. If it can change your period. Am I wrong for reading this?
That just sound weird, but I'm listening though.
No, I used to say before they changed their dot, but now that the way the TV commercials be, they don't even make the color blue no more. They make it just straight red. So I figure like, hey man, that is a fact of life. I'm reading what the dang headlines say. Mass horror. Okay.
We got to get like the doctor and Dr. Tanksley and get some.
I don't think they've got they can't. I don't think that study's done yet because they got to see how the kids develop. Right. That could be 20 years. Anyway, let me stop. All right. So I got questions. Do y'all want to talk about STACY? Why I'm changing Stacey Davis Gates' name to Stacey G? Do you want to talk about can the mayor pass her budget? Because it was the article yesterday about the mayor and the 15 people. Check this out, Riis. If the mayor gets 11 with 15 people on their way out, if 11 people vote no, she doesn't pass the budget. Now remember, I told y'all. So I want to know what y'all want to talk about. Y'all want to talk about Stacey G? Riis, if our phone number was 7474, Stacey Davis Gates' new phone number needs to be 1-872-259-7474. That needs to be Stacey Davis Gates' number because she pulled a G move yesterday.
What'd she do?
She endorsed Brandon Johnson for mayor. You want to know why? That's a big deal.
Why is that a big deal?
For one, he's not running yet. But what Stacey Davis Gates did by endorsing Brandon Johnson early before he announced was, okay, do y'all want me to tell y'all how I see it? Or do you want me just to, okay. Stacey Davis Gates yesterday, here we go. Let me see what my online producer has to say about this, but I'm still calling her Stacey Davis G. I don't care what you say. Look, I'm about to get some more inside insight. Who is? Oh, we know he's circulating. I know he's circulating. Hey, man. So let's back up. So Stacey Davis Gates, Stacey G, yesterday, the House of Delegates moved to endorse Brandon Johnson for mayor of Chicago. Although he has not declared for mayor, Riis, he is circulating. Brandon did participate in the Black People First first session of the Black People First Mayoral Candidates Forum, right? And discussed why he would be mayor, why he should be a great candidate for mayor. Now, Stacey Davis Gates and Brandon Johnson are linked inextricably in their rise to power, right? So imagine after Karen Lewis, there is Jesse Sharkey, there is Stacey Davis Gates, Jackson Potter, and Brandon Johnson, tier 2, right? So you got Karen Lewis, then her vice president is Jesse Sharkey, who moved up. And then under there is a layer which is Stacey, Brandon, and Jackson Potter. I'll get to that, Jerome. So this is, so let's say that. So Stacey G, probably early on made the decision that she was going to support Brandon Johnson as CTU as the mayoral candidate. Now, in the era of you can diss a black woman or a black person with a person of color, Chuy Garcia, who was brought to prominence by CTU, although it being Karen Lewis, got to the point where after all of these deals and all of this perception of power, decided that he was going to go outside of the box and go test the waters to see if he could get the support of the people to become mayor. All this taking away from Brandon Johnson and his ability to build up steam. Now, the rumor mill tells me that Raise Your Hand, which is a very prominent organization, was going to endorse Brandon Johnson as well as part of his buildup of momentum, and Chuy Garcia blocked that endorsement. Because the presumption, Riis, is that Chuy Garcia is the kingmaker. Now, Chuy been making kings, but Chuy's been making kings with whose army and whose money? Stacey G's army and Stacey G's money. So now, Chuy decides that now he's being encouraged by his people to step up and cut out their natural ally, CTU. So CTU has funded a lot of the socialists and all of the alternative progressives and the Latino caucus, and now the Latino caucus is seeing that their guy has a chance to be the mayor, but they did it ignoring the black people that were in the line. So now what you see is initially Chuy was 100% out. Now Chuy does his press conference. He stands up. He determines, because now Mayor Lightfoot is courting him to stop him, because the inference is that Chuy Garcia is now the kingmaker. All the while, none of us remembering that how did Chuy Garcia get to the table? CTU. How did CTU? Remember, Chuy Garcia came to prominence. He was out the game. CTU, after Karen Lewis and another person would not run, brought Chuy back. He failed as mayor and then became what? Chuy Garcia, the congressman, the county commissioner, then the congressman, and became the perceived kingmaker. But Riis, who was his money and his army that whole time? CTU, SEIU. Right? Now, Chuy, in an alliance with Governor, is now become the kingmaker in his eyes, and everybody's letting you run around, do your thing. And so now you starting to say, well, I've decided that I might run for mayor. Now, hold on, fam. We had an agreement. I understand you big and all that stuff, but you know you come from us. We put you on. Well, now I don't have to worry about the black woman because I'm not worried about you. Because I can cross you out as a people of color. And I got J.B. Pritzker. Right? Now, so now, I'm still saying, you know how you be like, everybody saying, Stacey, ain't that your man's? What's your man's doing? Like, y'all building up to this run, and your man's is out here distracting people. He got people saying, don't endorse your man, as you trying to build up the momentum to create this thing, and now your mans, who you been funding for the last 2 years, be like, I'm chief now. Except he ain't got the bank account, he ain't got the work. He think he chief, but he ain't got the work or the workers. So now everybody, so like, I'm letting you go out, you go do your thing, but famo, this is my purse. This is my money. I got the army. I got the workers. But you out here. So now, Chuy Garcia goes in the newspaper. He meets with the mayor. Now, you know, Riis, if you get caught meeting with the ops, like not a sanctioned meeting, like you like, let me go see what I can work something out, and you get caught. Now you on, now I got to show you. Oh, you want to put out a poll that says I could beat and diss my boy in the poll? Let me do this for you real quick. Because what you're hoping is that you're going to embarrass me into supporting you. Right? You think you're going to get all this momentum and you're going to cut this brother out, who's my brother. Now, I don't necessarily agree with them on policy, but what I can respect is that she was like, you not finna cross my brother. Oh, so you're going to block his endorsement and you're going to be calling around and you mean with the ops? Let me tell you what we finna do right here before you even get started. Because before you even start coming over trying to compromise me in my union, we're going to pull the trigger before he do it. So now anybody that thinks they could possibly get CTU's endorsement who could box him out, Brandon is already now endorsed. Now, Chuy, what you got to do, and not only you, but all of these people that we've propped up that are walking around swinging their stuff, but they swinging their stuff under you, not realizing that me, and my crew is what really put you over the top. Right? So now Chuy and his squad now has to decide, are they going to go to war with CTU? The people who brought them to the table. Now they can't go to, ain't no socialist going to the labor. Now let me add another mix to this. So now you have, of the two most powerful unions in Chicago, of the three, two of them are led by black people. Stacey Davis Gates runs CTU. Greg Kelly runs SEIU. Now, remember I used to always have a beef with SEIU and I would be talking smack because of the Jerry Morrison guy? Well, I didn't realize that there was two SEIUs. There's SEIU Healthcare and then there's the SEIU Service Workers. Well, the SEIU Healthcare is also led by a brother and they got a goon squad, but they goon squad has been helping all of the Chuy people. Right? But now you got three black union heads and you watching a guy that y'all created flip on you. So Riis, if me, you, and me, three of us agree. So let's how would I put this in street lingo? So we all under the 5. You are a Latin king. No, let's back up. You a traveler. Somebody else is a C. And over there is the Latin kings. Now, we let the Latin king live. And we let him thrive, and he part of the mob because he under the 5. Right? Now, all of a sudden, he out calling your connects. You come through us, famo. But he like, well, actually, because now he reading in the newspaper that he the biggest thing cutting.
Yeah, everybody on the block saying, you know, you could really do it yourself.
You could do it yourself. You don't need them.
They've been doing this already, man. You good by yourself, man.
So now, the black people looking like, hold on, cuz. Is he out here running around talking about he finna be the new chief? When we decide that the chief finna be a black dude? Well, now what has to happen is, so what Stacey G did yesterday was, so that we can be clear, and she drew a hard line in the sand. We're endorsing the black man. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Brandon is to the left of me. I'm probably more towards the, but what I can respect of Stacey G was, she ain't finna let you come up and, like everybody else would have laid down and threw you. This is what black people would do. Man, you know you can't beat Chuy, so why don't you just get out the race? And the black people would be telling you to run away. Stacey G said, I'm doubling down. Now the ball is in your court, Chuy. In the Chuy mob. Because y'all been used to, because what y'all got confused with was I'm still a black woman. And that's still a black man. And when people feel, what I can admire about this whole thing for Stacey G is where most black people would let you get hung and they would tell Brandon to stand down. She doubled down for the black man. When is the last time you seen a sister stand up for the black man and not tell him to bow down? When? So now, essentially, and again, I got the purse strings and the army, Chuy, and I got SEIU. And what you're saying is you don't care that I'm chief. You don't care that everything that you got for this part came from us supporting you to the hilt. Because now Karen Lewis isn't here, so now you ain't got to honor the deal? No, I'm here now. And so let me tell you what Stacey did in my estimation with that and calling that vote. She pulled, is it the whole or the whole card? In this case, it's the whole card. Now, if I was playing spades, I'd say a whole. But this was a whole card. So now you got to ask yourself, Chuy, and here's what she can take from him. Money, troops, but also national prominence, Riis. Because where does Chuy's juice come from? It comes from being aligned with public unions. Stacey G, yesterday, by pulling that vote, is forcing Chuy Garcia and his allies who have been walking around high-fiving each other. You know that Bible verse, choose ye this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house. Now Chuy and his allies have to make a choice. Are they going to go against CTU? And if that means that they go against CTU, what does that mean for them in the aldermanic races? Now, First time in a long time that I have seen our disrespect the fire returned quietly. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Had a conversation with STACY Davis Gates, STACY G. And she was pretty emphatic about her affection for black men, particularly as a black woman growing up in a household with all black men, athletic, etc. And it was the first time in a long time politically in Illinois, Chicago particularly, that I've seen a black power move in response to protecting a black person. Now, you can say what you want to say, but everybody black would tell you to lay down. That's the instinct, Riis. You don't want that problem. You don't want that trouble. Even when the black people have the power, STACY got the money, the power, the troops, and the national reach. Because guess what? If you cross CTU, you're crossing teachers across the country. So that national prominence, every time he shows up at a rally, you're not getting that. Now, before we all try to figure out a way to tear down STACY Davis Gates, right? Because, you know, somebody will be like, remember that time she did the blah, blah, blah. You ain't had nobody put their sword up or down for a black person in a long time. So let me just suggest this. Before Femo, who is advocating for us at all? Now, I'm going to say that they were going to politically lynch Brandon without him even having a chance. They were trying to kill him in the cradle. They were trying to smother him and force her hand. So, I just think that you should just pay attention. And when we come back, we're going to talk about it a little deeper because, there's a lot going on in that. But STACY G, she put her hand down yesterday. Will it continue? I don't know, but Chuy's got a tough decision to make now. Again, he's out there to, he literally, so Riis, imagine you at the meeting and your own people trying to get people to vote against you. Don't get them to work. Let them starve a little bit. See if you can starve them out so I can be chief.
I done been in meetings like that, though.
What?
Where, the same organization, going against each other so somebody else can get, be the president or, like get to the top. If people coming, just like you said, they coming in there. We in the same organization. They are coming in there because it was only a few votes and there was some deciding votes. They came to the people starting to present, hey, look at this, man. This person ain't did this. If I can do this and that. Same people. It don't matter. We got the same mission. But I done been in meetings like that. And I was actually up for position in one of them meetings, and I voted against myself to lose because I didn't even want to be a part of that chaos.
Okay. Let me tell you what. I think that there's more to this. What would have been so crazy, and just think about this. we really could have ran the table here. We really could have ran the table here. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to be a full-on battle royale. But what it also says to me is that this could wind up being a black for both men. Let's back up. I think, we'll talk about it more when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:40 a.m. as I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy now, O'Hare to the Loop is 1 hour. Outbound to O'Hare is 48 minutes. On the Edens, inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 58 minutes, as well as outbound. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 63 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 40. The Stevenson I-355 to the Dan Ryan 1 hour outbound 31 minutes. Bishop Ford inbound 45 minutes, outbound 31, while the Dan Ryan is 25 to the Loop 11 to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, 55th to Jackson will be 13 minutes. Jackson to 55th will be 8. On the north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr will be 8 minutes. Bryn Mawr to Randolph will be 15. Today's weather. It is currently 52 and cloudy. Today will be a high of 61 with a low of 48. I'm Riis the Ruler. Let's throw back Steve Stone Thursday.
Is it just me? Don't you miss those nights sexing on the beach, playing Isley Brothers in between the sheets? And now we're taking flights from London to Belize, and we're popping bottles, endless shopping sprees. Still sexy as can be. You're still the only one for me. Yeah. I'm feeling lucky as can be. Future, but I love our history. Yeah. To the day that we first met, let's throw back. I really wanna know. Let's throw back. Let's go back. Let's throw back. Let's go. I wanna go. Oh, come on now. We were making love to the first time we let's reminisce of the whip. We were making love. Come on now, let's throw back. Oh, all I wanna do is throw it back. That's all I wanna do. Come on now, let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. And yeah, I was talking about Stacey Davis Gates. I was also talking about the new union dynamic that is playing out. So Riis, usually in the state races, it's the building trades, it's Local 150, it's the carpenters. They usually tend to give to the Irish leaders and stuff like that. And now Illinois State House people. In the city elections, it's usually the Chicago Federation of Labor. Well, it may be Chicago Federation of Labor. It may also be, it's usually CTU, SEIU, and then there's the two branches of SEIU, and then like the smaller unions get involved, like police, fire, all that stuff. But the 800-pound gorilla usually is CTU. Now, CTU has lost the last 3 times. So remember, the first time they ran for mayor was Chuy Garcia against Rahm Emanuel. They got him to a runoff. Chuy lost, went on to be a commissioner and then a congressman. Then Riis, last time, they chose Toni Preckwinkle. She crashed and burned. She got mollywopped. She only won 77 out of 2,000 precincts. CTU invested $3 million. They spent all their money on her in the primary, and then when she got to the runoff, Lori Lightfoot mollywopped her. So CTU they're going to need a win here. I saw people in the comments saying Stacey Davis Gates was ordered to do that to hurt Willie. No, guys. Willie, they have been anti-Willie because Willie was pro-Rauner. Willie and Paul Vallis are considered mortal enemies to them, period. That's not black. That is about the eradication of their union. I'm not going to tell you not to be shallow, but I think you need to look deeper than, it's just a great conspiracy theory. No, they are diametrically opposed because Willie is against teachers' unions, right? And is for charter schools and school choice. So he doesn't even believe they should exist. So that is not a hard question for them, right? That ain't a black thing. That is, we won't even exist if Willie is here. Same way with Paul Vallis. What I think you have to take and what we have to be wise enough to do is get past the just, oh my God. Regina, Chuy was not planning on running and probably not now. But again, all of that running his mouth was a distraction, and it discourages people from getting on board with Brandon. So if you are trying to roll out a Brandon campaign, what you don't need is your number one, who you count on being the biggest supporter, being out in the universe saying, do a poll that says that I'm better than everybody. Because you're hoping to be drafted, so you don't have to cross. What you don't want to do is cross CTU, so you want somebody else to say it. Got it? So if you say, no, I'm not, you can always be honest with Stacey G, and say, no, I'm not. But you see all these people are just begging me, and I couldn't turn it down. That was what Harold Washington did. I need for you to understand, though, that I don't know if Brandon wins, right? Even with the CTU backing. What it does mean is he's going to have 25,000 people that will help him get the signatures, and he will have a $3 million or $4 million war chest. Now, Stacey G is taking a big gamble. Because a big chunk of this election, people were suggesting that CTU has become too political. But in my estimation, she's got 4 years to get over that. But if Lori Lightfoot, Paul Vallis, or Willie Wilson win, she's got a challenge. So then it means that they need to also be involved in the aldermanic races so that all is not lost in the event that they don't win the mayor's race. At the same time, guys, 15 people are leaving city council. So really, if they can play in those 15 and then it takes only 11 to defeat the mayor, in the meantime, they're going to be piling on to stop the mayor from being able to get anything done. Riis, I gotta be honest with you and tell you that Stacey G just put a big gamble on a black man. Now, that may not be the black man that I would have chosen. But knowing how many people will cross you or sell you out for the proximity of power, or to, because remember, so like I got a text that somebody said she may have alienated 46% of her constituency. So what winds up happening, Riis, is the black people put you in, right? Or your people put you in and then you spend your time trying to kiss the butt of the people who didn't help you while ignoring the people that did. Yo, let me see what my on-air producer, my text producer says. All right. Yeah. So, Riis, I think this is the right. And then we have the so Hope is saying the same thing to my producer. And then coming right out of this, we have school board elections. Riis, of which in the school board elections, guess what, Riis? Undocumented immigrants can vote. So all these people coming in, they can vote in our school board elections. So now, guys, here's the deal. Stacey Davis Gates, better known as Stacey G, okay, so wait a minute, let me back up. It's 3 branches of SEIU. Healthcare, SEIU 73, and Local 1. Healthcare is the largest in the Midwest and second largest in the country. What Chuy gonna do? Go against, again, y'all, right now you are looking at some black power action happening. Now, again, I'm not a left-leaning, but, hey man, it's pretty dope to see dude running amok and the black people put the pen pan down and be like, you ready? They did. I got no doubt in my mind, none, that as Chuy is bouncing around the world trying to shake up the plan, saying we ain't got to listen to these Negroes over here. These people love me out here. Riis, it's got to be a great feeling to be a sister, Stacey G, say, hey, yo, I'm looking out for my brother, Brandon Johnson. But I got my man over here running interference. And the brother who's got the biggest union in the Midwest say, go ahead, sis, I got your back. So now, let me tell you, because here's the thing, Riis. And this is the thing I learned a lot. I can't tell you who I learned a lot of this from, but I was sitting at the bar for one beer. I learned so much. But most of Chuy's wins, you know where they come from, Riis? SEIU and the teachers. He ain't got the army. They do. And so, Matt, again, back to my point. They all telling you can be chief, but you ain't got no work and no workers. You running around, man, we at the park. It's the annual picnic. And you running around the park talking about, you thinking about being a new chief. You told me you thinking about being a new chief? Well, let me just tell you who gonna be the chief. Now, you still talking to, now what we should see is how Chuy responds. But let me throw another nugget in here that I'm not going to talk about, but I want y'all to understand how messages get sent. So I said I wasn't going to talk about this except in this context. Did you see the headline that said, light punishment for Garcia's son raises questions? So, in the Sun-Times, not me, Mace, and I'm not going to talk about the charges or anything associated with it. But you know when they send you your family and they be like, yo, you want to keep, you know how it'd be like, keep playing with me. So first, look, this is what happened, Riis. They do the endorsement. Or let me back up. Are you running around here? You think it's sweet out here? All right, let's taint you up just a little bit. Now, you know we got the rest of the story. We just going to give the reporter just a few of the details. We're going to hit you with 2 stories in the paper just so you know how it can be. Now, let me also back up, because this same tactic that they using, they use these tactics. Madigan used these tactics against Rudy Lozano's son when he ran. Turned him into a gangbanger. Now, I'm not going to read the story. I'm not going to do anything. But I want you to understand they like, hey, family, you want to play? Now, Riis, this when he's supposed to be. Guess we got to get our Chucky Booker back. When we start, we got to keep Chucky Booker on it. Why you want to play? Play your games on me. Why you want to play? But anyway, so pay attention. So right now, STACY G, and I'm not saying that story came from STACY G, but I think right now, the Chuy mob is probably realizing that they don't have the guns. Like, I don't know if you saw the pictures of, like, when Chuy came up to make the aldermanic endorsements and all of the people were standing around and it was like the new Latino caucus and they were, like, posturing and, like, it's like I mean no shade, but it's like you swinging a black hammer. Let me back up. You're swinging a hammer that is owned by a black company. It was okay when you was pounding people that needed to go. But when you take that hammer and swing it on the person that gave it to you, well, now we got to show you something. Now, I ain't going to go into the article, but you know I could do a whole hour on the article and just the taint, like the premise of the article, take away the son part of it, talk about the fact that you approved a contract for a company and then got pro bono work from them after you approved it. Now, that is a real issue. And for me, I gotta imagine, I would love to see what is happening at SEIU, because I gotta wonder, what does the most powerful black man in labor who happens to reside in Illinois think when he sees the people that he helped taking a whack at him and his crew? Guys, there are power dynamics at play right now. And I cannot remember the last time in Chicago that I saw black power defend black people. Black power has usually been the Pharisees that say throw them to the wolves, because we would like to stay close to proximity to power. Now, I got to be honest with you, man. SEIU and Chicago Teachers Union, they really ain't heard no black candidates. They just been helping the Latinos clean up their own space. But when the Latinos then decided that they was going to encroach in our space, What is that? Did your mama ever tell you done got too big for your britches? My man running around here believing the hype. It's like when you get to be chief, but it's a real chief. And they say you my ambassador, but you be feeling like you chief now because everybody holds you up. But it's like, hey, cuz, you know what this reminds me of? Malcolm X. Malcolm X was the star of the Nation of Islam, right? So much so that we even revere him more than the 8th Nation of Islam. But guess what, Riis? He wasn't bigger than the nation. Our shining black prince could not be bigger than the mob. And essentially, to me, I'm not sure that without the muscle of CTU and SEIU, that any of these people, any of these Latino leaders are strong. Like, they have the beef because nobody says they want the fight. And because they have SEIU and Chicago Teachers Union behind them, they get to walk around and swing. But my thing would be, who are the black CTU, SEIU people that can push back? Because clearly, those are the two forces of power. Right now, the Latino crew has built their power base and perception of power all the way up to Chuy Garcia, utilizing black power. Now, they've been doing it in their own spaces. So they've been able to run amok and get the perception. But what happened was, again, Riis, they done got to the point where they say, when they say you believe your own press clippings, I would argue that Gilbert Villegas doesn't lose to Selena Villanueva if it's not for CTU and SEIU. Real talk. I would tell you that if any of those seats that have gotten picked up or those socialists has been because of CTU and SEIU. So how do you bite the hand that feeds you? Because I told you a couple months ago, when we allow people to cross out black people and replace us with people of color, it creates a scenario. And you like when you create a monster. So now my question would be, how does Chuy Garcia respond to CTU endorsing Brandon Johnson? Where does he get money from now? He ain't getting it from SEIU. He ain't getting it from CTU. And the business community ain't doing it. So where does he go now? The cartels? Riis, STACY G. STACY MF and G. Now, I'll be curious to see who steps up to challenge her and challenge Brandon from that caucus. And let's see how much more campaigning Chuy Garcia does. Because then, Riis, I guess my next thing is when they start, you know how you be in trouble, you don't stop talking and you keep on doing stuff, and they be like, you want some more? You want some more? Riis, let me tell you, if they pulled up this thing with his kid, then each one of them cases that he got that they listed in there is a whole nother commercial. And y'all talking about Chuy wife don't want to run? I think that the apple cart is Chuy. In my estimation, Salim, Chuy ain't gonna have no choice but to. Chuy ain't gonna have no choice but to endorse Brandon. What is it? Get down and lay down? You might get elected, but this whole wave of movement of Latino power, bro, that's been financed by black people making a decision. Just be clear that Chuy's rise to prominence was because of a black person. And as you know, black women love to let you know, I brought you in this world and I take you out.
Tell my kids all the time, yo, you better go look and see how Marvin Gaye died.
That's funny. What's going on? Hey y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about this budget situation. Did y'all read the paper? Y'all gonna need to read the paper. Read Fran Spillman's article about the alderman talking about the mayor. 15 people leaving city council and they all mad at the mayor. How does she pass a budget, Riis? Oh, can I tell you something? And Riis, on this budget thing, let me tell you. So we're averaging, Riis, about 500 migrants a week. So you know how much we have to add to the budget? You know what that is every week, Riis? $2.5 million. So if we are going to accommodate our migrant population at the current rate of 500 people a week, we will need to add an additional $130 million to the budget next year. What you giving up, Riis?
Hey, where you say you got to go get picked up at?
Huh?
Where you got to go get picked up at? Like you saying they are walking to a certain place.
Oh, Texas.
Texas. What part of Texas?
Oh, the border. You gonna go to the border?
Yes, sir.
You gonna walk there? Or you gonna catch a plane down?
Well, you know I'm a fly there.
You gonna fly there and get on it?
Put some little clothes on and stuff like that. See, yes.
They gonna give you a better crib than you live in now.
I already know it.
5 stacks a month. I'll be like, let me just get that. Just give me 5 months. I'll be good. All right, y'all. You know, for 5 stacks, do you know what you could get for 5 stacks a month?
Give me some new documents and new social. I'm gonna be lit.
Hilarious. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Hey, so y'all, the challenge is I can't fight a past war. That war is over. I think that even if you were to talk to STACY G, she recognizes that her long-term survival is based on bringing back black people back. Self-interest is one of the best drivers in the world. Look, y'all, but I have no doubt whether we agree with the process. Yo, fam, I'm just telling you, every black man has had the opportunity to be disrespected. Let me tell you. Okay. So, in any other scenario, with almost any other black person, they would be telling you why, they would be trying to convince you why you should lay down to Chuy Garcia. Think about it. You know, as a black man, that when anybody else steps up, that you can 95% of the time guarantee you're going to get crossed, you're going to get told to wait your turn. I always think about like when I was supposed to be as the black man, you always become sacrificial and you are expected to do the bigger thing. And I'm not here to endorse Brandon, but you are always expected as a black man to understand why it can't be you. Always. Always. And I gotta be honest with you. It just felt good for one time to see the black people stick by the black dude. Right? Like, if he would have got crossed, then we would have heard that Brandon wasn't running for mayor now, and that CTU and his girl told him, you can't win. Can I tell you what would have happened, Riis? We would have expected that. We would have expected, and what they expected was to be able to put enough pressure on her to make her cross her man. Not husband, but her, the person she's supposed to be loyal to. What Jay say, stick to the script. We had a script. Black people would tell you why you shouldn't stick to the script, why you should bow down. People would convince you that the 46% of people who wouldn't go and vote for you was going to be mad at you and it's going to make them not vote for you again. Well, they didn't vote for me the first time. And so it always seems like we as black people always worry about the people who ain't with us as compared to the people that are with us. And I got to tell you, no matter what you say, how she did it, no matter what yo predisposed, no matter how much I have not agreed with CTU because of any other things, the fact that I saw a black woman stand by a black man and not get punked warm the cockles of my heart. The expectation that Chuy had, that his people had, was that they was going to tell Brandon to lay down. We going to punk him into it. You going to try and do it because you think you can. Let's put him in a position where they can't tell us no. Well, she said no. So now you go out and you go finance yourself. But remember, win, lose, or draw, you basically said you just disrespected your chief. Not your chief, you your own chief. But you certainly cut yourself off from the Iron Bank. You certainly cut yourself off from the troops. And so now what you're going to find yourself is exposed, because all of these tough guys are tough guys with Greg's army, Greg's money, STACY's army, STACY's money. And I'm going to say that because they got the spots. If it was anybody white that had the spots, we'll be bowing down. We'll respect their power. People will get out their way. Regardless of whether you like them or their philosophical answers, people would bow down to them. They wouldn't even think about testing. You think they would have tried to test Clem Balinoff? Nope, not at all. Not at all. But now because it's free season to test black women, black men. So I just got to tell y'all, shout out to STACY G. And I would encourage Brother G to put that pimp hand down. Don't let these people, the rules don't change when they bow down to everybody white when they got the spot. When it's a black person, they want to test the waters. Put the pimp hand down. Shout out to STACY G. And Greg, you stay up, big bro. And y'all handle the business. I'm super proud. It was a good day. You know I ain't the biggest advocate, but I gotta tell you, this made me feel good today. Because we always know what it's like to be crossed out. As a matter of fact, the expectation is, as a black man, you will be crossed out. That you will be minimized. That you will be told to sit it out. And we can find a million reasons why, instead of saying, we'll just fight harder for you, my brother. Shout out to Stacey Davis Gates for being a woman of her word to that black man. I hope that one day we will see the strength in each other. Because I tell you, it be the black people that tell you take less. You're not worthy. Shout out to that squad. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson Riis. I'm out of here. You got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, it's Thursday, man. It's Friday, Junior. Yeah,
Friday, Junior. Don't forget tomorrow night. You get your clothes ready, man, because we going to Corey Brooks' gala. Hey, telling you now.
Yeah.
Corey Brooks gala. You gonna probably run into a lot of your friends.
Yeah.
A lot of your new friends. But at the Corey Brooks gala,
I found out that he was alpha. I didn't even know that.
Is he?
Yeah,
I'm about to cut his ass off.
You ain't even.
That's why he stayed. That's why his wife won't let him in the house. He got to
right?
stay. No, because he alpha.
No, I'm saying, but he a pastor or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Corey Brooks. Yeah. He's the rooftop pastor.
Yeah.
We going tomorrow to his gala. I'm gonna tell you, he gets it. Like Corey Brooks don't take no state money. Them white folks hook him up. He be like, and yes, the president of you go to that, like the candy bags you get from them. Reese, they bring in a truck of candy. It be like the Ferrari paying car come. You be like, hold on.
Yeah.
I could take, like how it used to be like you could take a handful, like you be like, let me get FOMO bag. Like they be like, take a shopping bag full of candy with you. Take it. Yeah, it's going down tomorrow. Shout out to Corey Brooks.
I'm gonna go there and tell him, like, hey, I'm Riis. I'm CEO of the sound at the Maze.
You gonna be like Riis. They gonna be like DJ. You gonna be surprised. All them people be listening to you. They gonna be like DJ Rooster Ruler. Then next year you gonna be the MC, right?
Hey, there you go.
Hey man, I MC'd that joint one time. It was good. It's the Maze. Hey, you know who we need to talk to again? Joe Passmore too. Joe probably gonna get in trouble. He gonna get kicked out. He gonna have to use the union because he gonna have to file a grievance. Because how you gonna be calling the show while you got the kids in the room? Beulah said, "How you using your prep time to be on the show? You're supposed to be getting ready for the kids." Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Where today we talked about STACY G, 100 Black Men Scholarship Fair. Get y'all kids. Let's all go to that together. But look, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots and that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the